Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to the latest episode of Musical Musings. We air this program every Wednesday at 1 p.m. and we broadcast it from Ratchamakan University of Technology, Peranakan. I will be bringing this program to you in two parts. During the first part of our program, I am going to introduce a song and a band to you. We will discuss the band or the performer, the singer, whatever it is. We will discuss the band for a brief moment so I can introduce them to you. And then we will talk about the main theme of the song. The theme, that means like what it's about. We'll talk about the main themes of the song. Then we will listen to the song. And in the second part of our program, we will analyze the lyrics. The lyrics are the words to the song. So we're going to look at anything that may be difficult to understand, any difficult vocabulary, any slang words, any idioms. An idiom is a saying where something doesn't mean exactly what the words imply. You'll see that even in the name of our song today. So we will go over that in the second part of the song. Then that'll be the end of the program, and we will have the news and latest updates from the university as always.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Gary Gray, and I am your host for the Musical Musings program. I am an English teacher here at Ratchamakan University of Technology, Peranakan, and I've been here for about 7 years teaching English, and I like to incorporate a little bit of music into my teaching, and so that's why I'm here hosting this music program for you. All right, so for today, we are going to be doing the song Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top. Okay, that's an interesting band name, right? ZZ Top. So let's talk about ZZ Top for a moment. ZZ Top is an American band. They formed in 1969, so quite old. That's about, 55 years ago? So you can imagine that their members would be pretty old today. Actually, one of them has passed away. We'll talk about that in a moment. The others are still alive, but yes, they are getting pretty old. They're pretty old. And they come from Houston, Texas in America. So that's the southern part of America, and that's important for their music style. We will also talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so this is a very rare band where nobody has left. None of the members have left. They've been around since 1969. They're still performing today. The only person that's actually left is because he passed away, and that was only a few years ago. So essentially, nobody has ever left the band. We talked about this in last week's episode, actually, with the Police. They too have not seen anyone leave the group. That's quite rare with these bands that have been around a long time. You frequently see people leaving. Even a group like Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, who we talked about a few weeks ago. Yeah, based on the name, it's still going to be Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, right? Because that's the name of the people. It has to be. But Neil Young occasionally left to go out and do his own solo career. So sometimes they just called it CSN, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Also, they broke up many times because they didn't get along, mostly because of David Crosby, because he had some personal issues. Actually, David Crosby is my favorite member of that band, so I'm not trying to say anything bad about him. He just had some personal issues he was dealing with. Drugs, alcohol, things like that. He was having a hard time. can't say it's not his fault. I mean, it's your life, you need to control it, right? So, but nonetheless, in some ways, it's not his fault because, those things are addictions, and so hard to get over. Um, and so that's why I don't hold it against him, and I still say he's my favorite member of that band. But because of those problems that he had, they occasionally split up. So even though they didn't really have anyone coming or going or whatever, except for Neil Young, yeah, they still weren't very consistent. And most of these other groups actually switch out members, like Styx. They've switched out a lot of members. The Eagles have switched some out. I mean, most bands have had to switch members out. Fleetwood Mac has done that. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing that these guys still have their original group intact, or at least they did until recently, until 2021. In 2021, band member Dusty Hill ended up passing away. So that was very sad. And in fact, it's really sad because this group, ZZ Top, has a very interesting image. So there's several members of the band. I mean, it's not that big. I say several members. It's not like it's 10 or 12. No, it's a small group. But there's more than two people. That's my point. There's more than two people, but two of those people are really important for the image of the band. So the reason why I say it's very sad that Dusty passed away is he was one of those two. It was him and Billy Gibbons is the other gentleman. So Dusty Hill and Billy Gibbons were the two people that created the image of ZZ Top. So what is that image? What am I talking about? What's all right? So these two guys, they had big, long beards, and they got more famous later in their careers. So they were graybeards, most of their career. Sometimes they were kind of mixed, black and gray, or dark brown and gray. I'm not sure. I think it was more black. So they kind of black and gray mixed, but they were mostly gray. So they had these big, long gray beards, which looked really cool, and dark sunglasses. So that was their image. And with the sunglasses and the beard, you couldn't see much in their face, really. You couldn't see much of their face. So the two guys doing this looked almost identical because their body types were similar. And so with the glasses and the beard, and a lot of times they'd wear hats, so you couldn't see any difference in their hairstyle either. And so you can't really see the differences in their face. So you got these two guys that look almost exactly the same. And they're doing the same style, the long beard, the sunglasses, and the hat. So that was really their image. So again, yeah, really sad when Dusty Hill passed away. So Billy Gibbons is still there. Like I said, all the others are still there. The only people that have really come in and left are like very, very much brand new, like over just the last few years. Like when they're performing a concert, they'll bring this guy in or they'll bring that guy in to replace Dusty Hill, to replace his part. And so I think there's about, I think it's about 3 different people they've used. So I think they've used about 3 different people, but it's all very recently. As I said, it's pretty amazing. These guys have had the same member lineup since 1969, since they formed. That is not something you typically see in most of these bands. So it's a credit to them that they must have been nice guys, or they must be nice guys since most of them are still alive, except for Dusty Hill. They must be nice guys because Everyone stuck together. And like I said, they're still performing today without Mr. Hill, unfortunately. So I'm not sure how good it is anymore when you don't have him because he's part of the image of the band. But yeah, they still perform. So they're still around today. And so what is that, about 55 years later? Formed in 1969. Yep, 2024 is 55 years later. That's pretty impressive. All right. So the other thing I will mention about ZZ Top is they're very much a blue collar band. What does that mean? Blue collar. What does that mean? We use that term in English to talk about like the type of job someone has, what they do for work. You can be blue collar or you can be white collar. A blue collar worker is someone that does like really hard labor, a mechanic, a farmer, um, people that are just working on things, maybe outdoors, even or in a factory. Like factory workers are almost all blue collar workers, except maybe the top management. Um, but people working in factories are blue collar workers, steel manufacturers, things like that. All of those type of jobs are blue collar. White collar are people that are basically sitting at desks all day and doing their work at a desk. And that sounds bad, right? Because the blue collar hard worker, and the white collar just sitting there at a desk. Yeah, some people do actually view it that way. They think that white collar is not good. They think white collar is the elite people that we don't like. No, it's not really like that. I mean, there's plenty of white collar workers who are good, decent people that are doing good work to benefit our society. For example, an architect. That's just a normal job, right? Just designing houses, things like that. It's good for society. That would be considered white collar. They're working at a desk. So, anyway, ZZ Top is blue collar. So what I mean by that is that they really relate. They connect with the part of society that is in this group. The hardworking factory workers, farmers, things like that. So that's kind of the type of band they are. And a lot of times with music like that, they just make it fun. And that's what this song is. We're going to talk about the song in a moment, but it's just a fun song. There's nothing serious about it. All right. So as for their genre, ZZ Top, I think I'd just say is rock. It's just rock. A lot of bands, I always complain every week when we talk about genre. I mean, you can't assign one genre to a band. These guys, you probably could. I mean, it does sound like there's maybe a little bit of blues influence in their music, things like that. So they could have been influenced a little bit by some other genres, but it's basically just rock. It's rock and roll. That's all it is. All right, so the song we're doing is Sharp Dressed Man. As I just told you, it's not a very serious song. It's kind of a silly song. But first of all, let's understand what it even means. Sharp dressed man. What does that mean? Sharp. That's like something pointy that will hurt you when you touch it. Ow, 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 ow. Sharp dressed man. What does that mean? This is a saying we have in English. It doesn't mean what the words say. Sharp does not mean pointy. Something that hurts when you touch the tip of it. No, that's not what it means. So when we say someone is sharp dressed, it means they are dressed well. They are well dressed. They look good. They look good. They're wearing maybe a suit and a tie. They look good. All right. So, what the song is going to be about is looking good to get the woman. That's why I say it's not a very serious song. The song is just about a man trying to get women. That's it. Not a very serious song at all. But it's fun. It's fun. And even though it's not a serious song, I want you to think of other songs that are around today. There are plenty of songs that are not serious songs. I mean, within the last 20 years, what was one of the most famous songs that spread around the whole world? Probably Gangnam Style is one of the most famous ones. That is not serious at all. That's a dumb song. Gangnam Style. That's a dumb song. There's nothing about that song to take seriously. It was just a big fad. A fad, and the word fad means something that becomes really popular, but it's almost like the popularity is because, oh, your friends said it was good, and that friend said it was good, and that friend, so all the friends kind of build it up. But a lot of those friends didn't actually like it. They were just built up into it because their other friends liked it. So it's one of these, so it's something that goes up and then down really quickly. Because it goes up because all of these friends are connecting and pushing it all at the same time, but then the people realize it's not very good, so then it comes down really quickly. And so that was kind of the situation with Gangnam Style. It's very popular for 3, 4, 6 months, something like that, maybe even a little bit longer, and then it kind of crashes. I mean, who listens to that song now? I mean, it's still kind of funny when you hear it. It's a little bit fun. Whoopum Gangnam Style. It's still kind of fun when you hear it, but nobody listens to it. My point is about that song is it's not serious. So I want to make that point because there's a lot of rock songs that are not serious. We did one AC/DC song before, I think. I think we did an AC/DC song. I think we did this song. They have other songs, and a lot of them are just about women and partying. It's like the same old thing all the time from some of these groups. But what I'm trying to tell you is because there's a lot of those type of songs, it's okay to do it on our show. I usually do songs that are more serious, more interesting. But there are a lot of songs out there that don't have some big, great, deep meaning. This is one of them. Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top. No deep meaning. But it's a fun song. The music is good. So we're going to do it. All right, so let's get to the song. As I always tell you, for those of you joining us on YouTube, we cannot embed the video, so please click on the link in the upper right-hand corner. And then once the song is over, you can jump back over here to this page. And for those of you listening by streaming or the radio, should be just fine. You will hear that we can embed the audio, so you'll hear the song just fine. All right, so let's get to the song.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome back. And as you heard from that song, it's about a well-dressed man attracting women. Again, not a serious song, but that's okay. The music's good, and maybe we'll have some words to discuss that we can try to make it a little bit more understandable. For example, we already talked about sharp dressed. Sharp dressed means you're well dressed. Has nothing to do with the word sharp. Sharp sounds like pointy, something that hurts when you touch it. No, sharp dressed means that you are well dressed. So there may be some words here, some slang, some idioms that maybe we don't understand. It's a pretty short song, but let's get to it. Okay, so we start out clean shirt, new shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie. I don't need a reason why. Okay, so this first verse, well, that's not the end of the first verse. Let me finish the verse. They come running just as fast as they can because every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. Okay, so this first verse is basically saying that he likes to dress up nice. Clean shirt, new shoes, silk suit, black tie. But it doesn't matter. He just likes to dress up nicely. You notice the second line says, I don't know where I'm going to. The fourth line says, I don't need a reason why. So it doesn't matter. He just likes to look good. He likes to look good. Clean shirt, new shoes, silk tie, black tie, a silk suit, black tie. I don't have a black tie. It's dark, but not black. Silk suit, black tie. So he's talking about just dressing up nicely. And then it ends with they come running just as fast as they can because every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. Okay, so we already talked about what sharp dressed means. I should mention that the use of the word crazy here, the literal, the specific, the exact definition of the word crazy is someone that has really lost their minds. You know, someone that goes out and kills a bunch of people or does something really wacky. That's what crazy means. Here, the way we use the word here, it just means every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. When it says that they're crazy, it just means they can't control themselves. That's why they're crazy. So they need to have this guy. They need to be with this guy. They want to date this guy, whatever. So again, not a serious song. It's about this guy picking up women. That's what it's about. So he dresses up nicely and he picks up women. The only good thing about the song is that it sounds like that's not really his intention. He's not going out there trying to just pick up women. That's what this first verse implies. He says, I don't know where I'm going to. I don't need a reason why. So it makes it sound like he just likes dressing up nice. That's it. He likes it. Looks good. Just so happens that every girl is crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Okay, next verse. Gold watch, diamond ring. I ain't missing a single thing. And cufflinks, stick pin. When I step out, I'm going to do you in. They come running just as fast as they can because every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Okay, gold watch, diamond ring. That should be easy enough. Gold watch, diamond ring. I ain't missing a single thing. So in other words, he has everything. Rich, looks good. Cufflinks, stick pin. So cufflinks, that's most people have buttons on their shirt, but really stylish, wealthy people will buy shirts that have the buttonhole, but no button. What do you do with that? Well, the other part, the part with the button, will also have a buttonhole instead of a button. What's that for? You have a cuff link. It goes through both halves of the shirt, and you hook it together that way. So that's what a cuff link is. You use that instead of a button, and again, it's usually only on like the best shirts. I'm trying to think in my life. I'm not sure I have ever even worn a shirt like that. Maybe once. I may have once at a wedding or something like that. because I'm trying to think, and I do vaguely remember maybe wearing cufflinks one time. Only once. So they're very uncommon. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it means about a stick pin. Cufflinks, stick pin. When I step out, I'm gonna do you in. I'm not sure what the stick pin is. It could mean a pin to hold your tie in place, because a lot of times they're like the way they're shaped, they're like sticks. And it's also a very stylish thing to have a pin holding your tie in place. So that's also very stylish for someone wealthy. Okay. And when I step out, I'm going to do you in. So what does it mean to do someone in? Sometimes that's a bad thing. Like when you say you're going to do someone in, it means you're going to hurt them, damage them. In this case, we're talking about the women. In other words, so what it means here when it says I'm going to do you in, it means it's going to make them kind of fall apart for him because he looks so good. Look at me. I look great. You're going to go crazy for me, as every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. So that's what he means when he says I'm going to do you in. And again, it's a pretty short song. There's lots of music kind of that comes in between each verse, and the music is really good. This is a great song. As you heard, the music in this song is great. So we get to the last verse. Top coat, top hat. Okay, so a top coat means like usually a big trench coat sort of thing. It doesn't have to be a trench coat. Trench coat is the long coat that goes the length of your body. Wearing that over your suit. A top hat is a hat that's kind of medium tall. It's medium tall. And I told you at the beginning, these guys would wear hats sometimes on stage. The hats that they would wear were very similar to top hats. They were generally a little bit lower than a top hat usually is. Like the part that sticks up on their hats was about this tall. A top hat's usually about that tall. But the style itself is quite similar. So I think that's kind of what they're talking about. And that's why they wore them on stage, because they were probably calling that a top hat. So top coat, top hat. I don't worry because my wallet's fat. All right. So about your wallet being fat, you can imagine what that means. Fat means that you're overweight. You weigh too much. So what does that mean here? Your wallet does not eat too much. What does that mean? It's really simple. If you think about this one's obvious. If your wallet is fat, why would it be fat? You have a lot of money. So again, this is a rich guy singing. So he's got all these things. I ain't missing a single thing. He's got everything he needs. So top coat, top hat, I don't worry because my wallet's fat. Black shades, that's the sunglasses. Shades are actually different than sunglasses, but I think he's using it the same way. Shades, there are some people that need to wear like regular glasses because they can't see well. You can get something called shades instead of sunglasses. I don't know anyone that wears these now, but they were popular for a time. Shades are things they hook onto your glasses and you flip them down, and they are basically just the sunglasses lenses. So you flip them down over your glasses. So that way you still have the improvement in sight from your glasses, but you have the shades like sunglasses. Okay. So black shades, that's what they're talking about. White gloves. Gloves are what you wear on your hand. Looking sharp, looking for love. So again, looking sharp. Sharp means handsome here. Looking for love. And then we finish the song up with the same line. They come running just as fast as they can, 'cause every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. All right, so that's the song. It's pretty short. All right, so ZZ Top is very different from a lot of the bands we've done so far on this program. Maybe Leonard Skinner, Charlie Daniels Band are kind of similar, because they're both Southern rock. Now, what is Southern rock? There's a style of rock that puts a little bit of maybe country into it a little bit, country style in there a little bit, um, because country music comes from the Southern U.S. And we call that Southern rock. Bands from the North that do rock music are usually a little bit heavier. The sound is a little different. Southern rock bands like Charlie Daniels, Leonard Skinner, Alabama, um, those type of ZZ Top, because that's what we're talking about today. Those type of bands have a slightly different sound. So ZZ Top is more along those lines. So I don't want to say we haven't done any band like this, but when I chose the Charlie Daniels band or Leonard Skinner, I chose songs that maybe had a little more meaning to them. So even though the band style is similar, the song style is not. So for the ZZ Top song I chose today for today's episode, there's not a lot of meaning there. So it's hard to find anyone similar to what we've done before. But the closest thing is those Southern rock bands. Bands like Leonard Skinner, Charlie Daniels Band, Alabama. I think we did... I forget that. Was it the Allman Brothers? We did one other band. I'm forgetting the name of the band. The one that sings Elvira. Is that the Allman? I don't think that's the Allman Brothers. Who does Elvira? We did that song a long time ago. It's hard to even call them a rock band even, but they kind of are. Maybe soft rock, but they would also be Southern rock. A lot of the bands from the North, like I said, play harder rock songs, like Styx. They're from, I want to say Chicago, that area at least. Aerosmith from Boston, all kind of heavier music. So a lot of the northern bands, like I said, are a little bit heavier. So we haven't done a lot from bands like ZZ Top. All right. But it is a really fun band. Even though this song has no really deep meaning, it's a fun song. It's a fun song. The music is great. Dun, 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 dun. That's a great little lick they have there. That's some really fun music. And they do actually have a lot of other great songs. They're a very popular band, very popular. And like I said, they're still performing today, although unfortunately, as I said, they've lost Dusty Hill. So it's probably not the same as it was. But they only lost him recently. So for what, from 1969 to 2000, that is 51 years, I guess. So for 51 years, they've been performing with the same members. It's pretty impressive. So they get a great image, really fun band, good music. So I always recommend that my viewers or listeners check out more songs from these guys that we do, from these bands, these artists, whatever it is. Do the same with these guys. A couple of their other great songs: "Gimme All Your Lovin'," "Legs," "Lagrange," "Cheap Sunglasses," "Tush," lots of others. I think one of my favorites, other than this song, "Sharp Dressed Man," is probably my favorite. But I think my other favorite by them is "Lagrange." It's more for the music than the lyrics, which is why we didn't do that on this show. Because in fact, "Lagrange" might even be my favorite. I don't know. "Lagrange," "Sharp Dressed Man." It's close. It's close. Number 1 and 2. "Lagrange," the music is really cool. It's got great guitar music, especially in "Lagrange." So check out more of their music. They're a great band. It's a little different than most of the music we've listened to so far, but they're a lot of fun. Really fun band. Been performing with their original cast of characters since 1969. They've only just broken up They didn't break up. They've only just switched out some of their members, one in particular, in 2021, sorry, only because the guy died. So they had to find someone new. But they do still actually perform today with that new person. They've gone through a couple of new people, trying them out. But they're still out there, still going strong. Like I said, probably not the same without Dusty Hill. But for 51 years, they went on strong with the original cast of characters. Great band. Check them out. All right. Thank you for joining us for today's Musical Musings program. Please make sure you stay with us. Also, make sure you tune back in next week when I will bring you another great song from a great artist. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Musical musings, musical